guys, I got another special guest in the shop this week, and I think you'll be excited to see who it is. Come on in.
All right, man.
We got Keith Rucker in the shop. He come by to see me today, and we've been hanging out and just talking all kinds of shop and going over some tools and things like that. But he's coming through town. I said you got to go over to.
Yeah, so I had to go today over close to Mobile for something with work. I had to go look at some of my research plots, and anyway, it was too late to drive home, so I said, well, I'll just go back to Pensacola, spend the night, and come and see Adam while I'm over in the area. So.
Yeah, and he came bearing gifts too. got some cool stuff right here, so we'll share some of this stuff with you, and we got some surprises right here to show you also that I didn't even know about until he brought them in. But so he had went up to the Arnfest.
Yep.
A couple weeks ago. That was up in Indiana.
I was in Illinois.
Illinois.
Yep,
okay.
Outside of Chicago.
And Keith and I had been working out a deal with another gentleman named Doug.
Yeah,
right?
Doug Broberg.
Doug, and Doug had some 50 taper tooling and asked if I was interested in any of it, and so I said yes. There's some things that I'd like to have. We had a couple arbors. Well, I think one arbor, but we've got a couple here, and also some 50 taper end mill holders, and I don't remember exactly what sizes that I told you I wanted, but we've got 4 of them in here, and they're just nominal sizes, like that looks like maybe 5/8 or 3/4.
Yeah, one of those. I think that's 1.25 inches, maybe.
1.25 inches right here, and these are this one is a USA, made in Japan, very good quality stuff. This one's made by Beaver. It's a Beaver tool in engineering. I think that's a 1/2 inch.
Looks like 1/2 inch.
So we got one of those, and then we've got a little smaller one. That's probably a 3/8 right there.
Is that a Beaver too?
Yep, Beaver end mill holder number 13 it says.
All right, never heard of Beaver.
So got some nice end mill holders right here. We'll have to do a little bit of cleaning on them. So we got those, and then ran into my material there. Got another 50 taper arbor, and this is a 1 inch. As you guys know from watching my videos, I had a 1 inch, and it's got a little bend in it. So I believe Doug said that this one is nice and straight and runs true. So he gave this one to me. We've got plenty of the spacers and the running bushings on here. So that'll be a nice addition right there. And then he also threw in another 1 inch arbor, this guy right here. And I think this one is, you said it might have a little bit of a bend in it, maybe.
He thinks it has a little run out, and this is a little bit rough.
Yeah, it's a little rough, but I guess he had no need for it, so he said, here, just throw that in there and take it to Adam. So it is. It's been spun a little bit on there. Boy, look at that gouge.
Yeah, it's got some pretty bad spots in there.
But you guys are probably wanting to see, look at that one right there. That one got caught up in it. So anyway, so we've got a couple more arbors to add to the K&T collection of tooling. And so he also surprised me with something else, and if you guys watch Keith's video, you know he's been having a little bit of help with the 3D printing work. And you know, what is his name again? So
Charles Marlin. Charles is one of my viewers, and I think he watches your channel and Tom Lipton's channel and some others as well. But he's a designer, basically does 3D modeling work, does some really cool stuff. He's just whiz bang at it. He's been helping me do some pattern making stuff and just all kinds of projects. So he's just graciously said, yeah, just whatever you need, let me know, and he'll work it in his schedule and do it. And he's been sending me some patterns for casting and stuff that we've been using, and it's been working out great. So
so Keith's got some stuff in his videos that he's been showing some patterns. So these guys kind of came together and thought of another idea to work out on the 3D printer. So he came up with a little logo for the shop here, and so he made this on his 3D printer, a nice little A-Bomb 79 logo with the micrometer on there. Very cool.
Yeah.
Whenever he showed it to me, I'm like, what? Man, that thing is awesome. And he's also got another one right here. Now, this one is a black color, and it's a little bit thicker than the yellow one right here. So he worked out a 3D model using his 3D printer, and they come up with this really cool looking logo. So to top it off though, the reason why he wanted to make one of these is for this guy, which is what Keith did.
So yeah, we did a little foundry work, and we actually used this black one here as a pattern, and I cast that out of brass. And I got some video of me ramming this up, but I haven't showed it yet, so I was going to surprise Adam first. So maybe we'll get that in one of my videos down the road. But anyway, we cast this out of brass, and came in here and cleaned it up a little bit, and kind of buffed it out and got it nice and shiny on there. So anyway, little brass paperweight or whatever you want to do with it. So
well, all I know is that you did some awesome work on it, and I was completely surprised. I had no idea that he was doing this, and I suck at designing and logos and all kinds of stuff. So they did a jam up job coming up with this idea right here and making this logo. I really like it. It's very neat.
That was all Charles was doing on the logo, man. I told him, I said, let's come up with a logo for Adam. I said, I don't know what to do. You know, he goes by A-Bomb 79. I said, maybe you can put a micrometer or something to make it look like a machine shop. And he sent that back to me. It wasn't an hour or two. He sent that back to me. And I'm like, that's perfect.
Guys like Charles, man, they could just throw something together really fast. So you did a great job, Charles. It looks great. I really like it. And Keith did a fantastic job of casting it, trying to get you a nice little shot of how it looks here. He did a little polish on the top. So very, very cool. And you know, I'm not sure exactly what we'll do with this. I know I want to have it. I'll probably have it up here on my shelf, and we might try to have it to where we can see it in some videos. But very cool and awesome job, Charles and Keith. Thanks for making that for me.
And he's also got the CAD files for you with the design. He's gonna. I got those. I'll email those to you later. So if you want to use it for something else down the road, you'll have the CAD files to use that with.
I like it, and we might have to incorporate this design into a new background for the YouTube channel or something like that, because it is nice and I like it. So there's one more over there. You can grab that one.
Oh yeah,
and that was a reverse.
Yeah, this was a reverse. So I think Charles said he was playing around with his 3D printer and he needed to do this for something else, and it was when he was working on these. So he made a reverse. This is like a mold. So this black one, if you need to see it, just kind of it fits down in there perfectly. And he said he actually had done some of these and made some chocolate molds out of them. So I told Adam, said, you get your wife on her cooking channel there on YouTube to make some A-Bomb 79 chocolate molds or something. I don't know.
And that's probably exactly what we'll do. We'll make us some A-Bomb 79 chocolates.
Ice tray. I don't know.
We'll come up with something. They have some A-Bomb 79 ice for some cocktails.
There you go.
All right, man. Well, very cool stuff, and I'm glad that you came by and hell, you got a room at the hotel and stopped by to see me for the evening.
Absolutely.
And I had gathered up a few extra little inserts for Keith to take home and try, so he's got some goodies to take back with him. And
I'll show those in one of my videos coming up here.
There you go. Yep.
That was worth the trip right there. That's worth all this. He's loading me up on inserts. So
I was over there showing him my goodies in the drawers, and that's my air compressor running there. But yeah, so I gave him some inserts to try out, so he'll have some more cutting goodies to use in his videos and get some of his work done. So
good deal.
Appreciate you picking us up and bringing it by, man.
Yeah, thank you, Adam.
All right, man.
Enjoy your channel, man.
Well, I enjoy yours too. I appreciate you always commenting and giving me some positive feedback and everything. It's just been it's been fun, man. It's been
the whole YouTube thing's just been a blast. So
it has. It's a great community out there, and we all enjoy hearing from each other and watching each other's projects and work and stuff like that. It's been a lot of fun. So I'll keep watching yours too.
Great, thanks. Appreciate it.
All right. Well, we'll see you later on. We're gonna get back to some shop talk, I guess. So here's our next victim. We got a little mechanical repair job to do here. This is an axle out of a Jeep Wrangler, and this this is a repair job that's going on over at a local garage just down the road from me, and they got in touch with me and asked me if I could help them do this. What you've got is the bearing destroyed and it come apart, so you've got another collar that's pressed on behind it. This has got to come off, the bearing race has got to come off, you know, and then the seal. Here's your seal behind it. So we've got to get this off and then install the new bearing, the new seal, the bearing, and then the lock collar. So here's one of them. They gave me 2 sets, but you know, I'd rather put SFK stuff on here than Master Pro. Okay, so we got a new bearing, there's the lock collar, and a new SFK oil seal. So there's a couple ways that you can go about doing this. I do have a couple bearing splitters that I can probably use. Here's one of them right here. Bearing splitter, and you can put this on here and go up behind it and then use this in the hydraulic press to back it up and then press the shaft and pull everything off. And that, you know, that's a typical way to do it. Another way that we may try is we might use a little heat. Flip this upside down, clean this good, and then flip it upside down and put a little heat on it, a little local heat right on the ring, and it may swell it enough for it to fall off. And same way with the bearing race, but that doesn't always work, but it might work. So I think we might try the heat method first. And it's not, you don't want to get it over, you know, too hot. You don't want to overheat this axle, but if you can get it hot enough in one spot fast enough, it might fall off there. So I think that's what we're going to try. So I want to get some of this oil off of it, get it kind of dry, and then we'll come back and see if we can remove this stuff. All right, I got her cleaned off. Used my fast dry solvent, kind of get the wetness off of it. Now we'll probably see a little bit of burning because there's still rubber on this oil seal right here, but that's all right. I'm going to try on the little locking collar right here first. Also, I used my wire brush. Just went around and wire brushed the bottom of it just to try to make sure there's no grit or dust on it to prevent it from sliding down. And we're just going to give it a shot and see if this works. If it doesn't, we'll go to other methods. Just using my old ratty TIG gloves here. I'm going to heat it a little and then I'm going to slam it. You'll see a little shaking. Yeah. Ain't coming off. Okay, well that didn't work. Sometimes it works, but I've already got a lot of heat on that, so I need to let it cool back down. Alright, so we'll, I don't know what kind of interferences they got on that, so we'll let this cool a little bit, and we'll try the hydraulic press method, okay? Alright, we're going to set it up in the Dake hydraulic press. Got to get it adjusted first. I need to put a little lube on my worm gear up here. Let me go get it. Put a little bit of that bow shield up there. not a lot of gap there for the plates to clear the flange. So let me go find my blocks. I'll be right back. Alright, I found some 1-inch flat bar, and I got it on each side of the clamshells here to support it. So the split clamshell here is up underneath the bearing race, and my hopes is that it is going to push the race and that ring off there at the same time. Still got to get the height adjusted, so I'm going to have to go down a notch again, I believe. Let's see. Get the tension off the cable there. All right, here we go. See if we can catch it. There it is. There's the oil seal. Okay. All right. Well, that worked. That's why it pays to have a hydraulic press around the shop. All right, let's go clean this up, and we'll get them put on. So what I'm doing here is I'm just giving the shaft a little polish. We're going to clean up the bearing journal here, and we're going to give this seal journal a nice polish. See where it runs? They always leave a little wear pattern there. I think that'll work. Okay. All right, let's go put them on. All right, first thing you got to remember is to put it back in the right order. You know, this plate was behind everything, so that goes on first. All right, we got our oil seal. I'm just going to put just a little bit of grease here just to help it slide and rotate on startup. All right, and that'll help keep that plate from falling down there. All right. trying to figure out which way it goes on now. I was looking at the old one here. You've got, this is how it was together, okay? You've got the numbers pointing towards the inside, and then the larger radius going towards the outside of the bearing there. So there's our larger radius. That'll go to the outside, numbers to the inside. And what I'm going to do here, I'm not going to bump it all the way on. I just want to try to get it started so that they don't fall off whenever I'm setting this over in the press. Alright, seems to be going okay, so I think what we'll do is maybe we'll go ahead and press the bearing on, and then we'll do the same thing with the spacer here. This will go on, or the lock ring, I mean, this will go on behind it here. Okay, I've got the press readjusted, pins in, and I flip my blocks around. On one side we got the large cutout here, and on the other side there's just a little radius machined in there. And what that does, you need to be on the inner race. Never press on the outside of the race, you'll damage the bearing, and sometimes you could cause some damage. But I was going to try to show you, but the inside of the blocks here have that little radius, and it'll go all the way up next to the axle. Just push it in like that, so it'll be sitting on the radius. I mean on the inner race. Okay, I think that'll work there. Let's give it a little pressure and see what it does. Look at that, going right on there. And then I like to try to back off just a little, just to make sure that it's not getting cocked. That's a nice sounding press fit there. And we'll just go all the way to that shoulder. It'll just stop there. Come down and touch it. Alright, there it is. Touched. Okay. Alright, what I'm going to do is take it inside, and I'm going to start the locking collar on there just like I showed you on the bearing, and then we'll bring it back out here and press it onto. So get it out, you move that block over. Okay, see? So I'll be right back. Alright, I was trying to bump it on there, and it just didn't want to start. It kept trying to rock back and forth right there on the start. I mic'd it, and there's 2.5 thousandths interference fit on that, so that's pretty tight. So we're just going to go ahead and force it on with the press. Both sides look to be the same. Okay. Alright, here we go. Round two. There she goes. Hydraulic pressure will move something. Just want to make sure I'm not binding up on that shaft there. That one's pretty tight. it's a lot tighter than that bearing was. That's probably why it didn't want to come off. I'm just going to come up and touch the bearing. All right, right there. We've got full contact. And our job is done. Get some of that dust off of it. There it is. There's a Jeep Wrangler axle bearing replacement for you. So this is going to be another little segment called I'll Show You Mine, which is something that Tom Lipton started some videos back whenever he had an idea to share some of the tools that people have. Somebody shows something they have, and then you return and show something that you have. And again, this is just something fun that we like to do with each other, and we always love to see each other's tools and the little collections that we have. I love to see other guys' collections too. So I got something here I thought I'd share with you. We're standing, this is my dad's machinist toolbox, and I don't believe I've ever gone into this box with you, but we're not going through the whole box. We're just going to go through one drawer. And recently, well, I mean, I wouldn't say recently, just quite often, I guess, you'll see guys in their flea market finds, car boot finds, picking up spring calipers. And I too have a pretty good collection of spring calipers of all different sizes and brands, and you know, and you'll also remember, if you followed our videos, that me and Tom got into this thing called Big Tool Slapdown, which he also named. And I think I started that last year whenever he went to the flea market and he found some outside calipers that were pretty big, and I had told him in his comment, I was like, hey, I think I got one that's a little bigger than yours. And that was this guy right here. And I don't remember what the measurement is now, but anyway, that's my biggest caliper I have right here, a spring type caliper. But then this is a Starrett, and it's very old. We have used it a few times. All right. So I thought I'd show you my spring caliper collection, and that's in this drawer right here in the middle. So I'm going to set the camera here, point it down, and we'll pull the drawer out and do a little exploring. Okay. Okay, so here's our spring caliper collection. Nice wide variety of spring calipers and dividers and calipers of all different makes and models and shapes. Lots of different stuff in here. And if you did see Keith Fenner's video on one of the tool nominations, I did send him a box with all kinds of things, and some of the tools I sent him was some inside outside spring calipers and some dividers, and those came from this drawer. I picked those out, and I picked out some good ones. They were Starrett. They were the toolmaker style, like this. That's got the round body on it. Two of them were Starrett. The other one was Union. They were not, that I know of, my dad's or my granddad's. They didn't have their name on it, but I've got plenty, and I wanted to donate something good that somebody else could use, so I picked those three out. Now there are a few undesirable ones in here, like these. This come from another toolbox, and I put them in here just because I try to keep all these together. These are imported. They got some rust on them, but there's several of the small ones. I believe I just seen Paul Compton show one like this, and he picked up at a swap meet. Several different brands. This is a Craftsman right here. Lutz, L-U-T-Z. But there's a few in here that you probably might find interesting. Oh, check this out. There's that Starrett number 289A rule clamp. Tom Lipton sent me one in a tool trade because I didn't think I had one, and I remember going through this drawer one day and finding this clamp laying down in here like that. I'm like, gee, Tom, look, I did have one, so now I got two, and obviously that belonged to somebody. This is an interesting one right here. Looks very old. It's got the clamp on it, so you know you can adjust it and lock it down with the little wing nut. And this one is made by Hilger and Sons. Be interested to know how old that one might be and where it was made. And there's a lot of Starrett, Brown and Sharp, Union, Lufkin, those kind of brands, all mixed in here. This one here, I didn't ever show you guys. I don't know where it come from. It was in this drawer and it was completely rusted up, and you can see it still is. I actually had used the CLR trick on this one last year whenever Chuck Bomarito was showing that, and I did get them kind of cleaned up, but I never did buff them or anything, and I put them back in here. I don't know what happened to that footage. I never did show you guys that. So I don't know. I mean, there's really just too many. Okay, this is that other imported one that goes to those other ones here. But I can dig through here and find several of them that have my granddad's name on it. There was one right here. James Booth. This was one of my granddad's. And this is one that we used often because the ends here are ground to a sharp V. So you can use these when you're checking your thread, whenever you're threading something. You can measure the root diameter with something like that. And there were some other ones in here too I wanted to kind of mention. When you have plenty or you find some second hands, you can modify them. Now this one here, now here's a Miller's Falls. I don't know if this is factory or if somebody did that, but you see how they're bent out. So you can get in and check internal grooves with something like that. And we had some other ones that we had modified too like that. This is one that we used to use all the time. This is a Starrett. You can use this one to check internal threads with. You come to a really small point. So I was going to try to find some of the more oddball ones. I don't know what that is. Anyway, like I said, there's too many to go through, but it is a nice little collection, and I'm very proud to have these. Look at this one here. Okay, there's a maker's mark there. New Haven. I don't see anything else on there except New Haven. That's a really old design right there. Somebody's brazed a little hook on this side here. Okay. Yeah, just lots and lots. There's a magnifying glass. That comes in handy. Lots of the same things. A wooden box. Oh, look at that. Another one I forgot about is a depth mic. This one's kind of unusual. And there it is. JT Slocum Company. This one's unusual in the fact that you, let's see, it's been a long time since I've played with this. Yeah, okay. So it's like a collet out here on this end, And what you do is you pull the rod out and then you remove these sleeves here. So it looks like it's a 0 to 2 inch depth mic. And you guys got one like that? Alright, well, I mean, I think you kind of get the idea here. We've got quite a few spring calipers. Some of these are really old. A lot of them need a little cleanup, but they do the job. They get it done. So I think we'll just kind of leave it at that. There's another big one right there. And we do have some more spread out through the shop, some of the other toolboxes, but just a lot of things I just kind of leave alone and leave in there the boxes that they were in. But this drawer has always been just full of spring calipers, with the addition of a couple other tools like that angle finder there, and there's a square butt in there. There's an old center finder. An old center finder missing the hardware. So, alright, there's our spring caliper collection.